Hello and welcome. Since I've gone to the trouble of wasting Paycom's money by clicking their ads, I thought I'd give them back a little value by doing a very quick and dirty landing page review. As you can see, we're on the Paycom landing page. One of the first things I do want to say is that I think they did a great job in terms of the landing page navigation. And what I mean by that is because this is a ad-driven landing page, you do want to try and remove as much of the distraction as possible from your landing page so that you can focus on the call to action. And I think they did a good job by making sure that the navigation for this particular landing page is removed. Right? So it is clean. There's no distracting call to actions to other parts of their services. Paycom does link to their website here in the logo. If they feel that there is value in sending someone to the main homepage because there's content there, I would consider pulling that content in the landing page, but a minor quibble. In looking at the landing page itself, I think that one of the first things you should consider is your persona scan. When people visit landing pages, you generally only have a very small amount of time, 10 seconds or less, before they decide to leave. It's measured by your engagement rate, and the inverse of that is your bounce rate. So you only really have a very short period of time. And I think in what they've got here in the headline is one of the things that people will commit and give you time to review, and they've done a good one here. Paycom reduced time spent on error review and correction by 85%. I think that is a headline targeted at an HR professional. That would be the assumed persona that I get when I do a persona scan. So scanning for this page, I'm assuming that the target persona is an HR professional. It is a smaller type than the secondary headline, which is the larger error-free payroll and HR solution. I would consider flipping these and flipping the text size. Personally, reading this, I think if I were an HR professional, I would see the value of what's in it for me more in the first headline than the second one. So that's one suggestion, but generally speaking, really good headline. Looking further down the page, the next call to action is a video. The video, which I've watched, is actually fairly long. It talks about the benefits of the Paycom solution. It doesn't always line up with the message in this current landing page, which is focused on reduced time spent on error review and the value of reducing that by 85%. I would consider removing it or doing a video that's a shorter excerpt of your product benefit, particularly as it relates to that 85% error reduction that we talked about in the beginning. Now, as an image itself, I don't know if this was deliberately done, but one of the elements of visuals in a landing page is that it tends to help focus eye path, right? Or it should help focus eye path. And in this particular case, the play button and the I guess you can call it the chevron in the image, the video image, does tend to push people's eye towards the call to action, the gray form on the right. So if that was deliberately done, kudos to the person who thought of it. In terms of the form itself, the call to action form itself, I would suggest that the headline be rewritten to align more with that initial headline on the landing page itself. The customer or the visitor is expecting to learn more about the 85% reduction in error review and correction. The form should remind them that completing this action will put them that one step closer to learning how to reduce their errors and corrections by 85%. So instead of seeing Paycom in action, something more along the lines of seeing how you reduce your error rate by 85%. In terms of the form itself, I'd suggest that you consider reducing the fields involved, the number of fields involved in the form. It would reduce friction and increase conversion rate. Specifically, there are a few fields I would point out. Country. In this particular case, if you were to click country, you're going to get every country, from Afghanistan all the way to Zimbabwe. I kind of doubt that Paycom will do business in all of those countries. Instead, what I would suggest is consider targeting your ad to a particular country. That way, your landing page doesn't need the country field and you know where your traffic's coming from. The other fields I suggest you consider removing: do you have international employees? Have you used Paycom before? And the comments box. Frankly, from personal experience, seldom, if ever, do I see people filling in comments. And I would ask you, do you really get much value in answering these two questions? Do you have international employees, or have you used Paycom before? Will that change the way that the lead process is followed if they answer these questions? If not, I would consider removing them, reducing the friction, and using that reduced friction to help improve your conversion rate. The other thing I would suggest that you remove is the subscribe to Paycom's email updates, or at least have it unchecked. Having it checked feels kind of deceptive. You're opting someone in instead of allowing them to opt in. That feels a little underhanded. And I'd consider either removing it or unchecking it. I do think that the submit this form and the terms of use and privacy policy link below that is a good practice. It reminds the customer, the potential customer, that you are aware of that and that you're not afraid of it by putting that link there. That tends to reduce anxiety, which is definitely a plus. So kudos to doing that. In terms of the button itself, request a meeting, similar to the form title above, I would suggest that instead of request a meeting, you remind the user that what they're going to get when they click that button is an opportunity to learn how to reduce their error rate by 85%. That strong headline that we talked about in the beginning. I would instead remind them, you're not requesting a meeting, you're learning how to reduce your error rate by 85%. There's a better way to finesse that text and wordsmith that, but I would focus on reminding the user of that value that they're going to get from the meeting. Another positive is the testimonial on the left in this white section and the icons on the right. As you get the customer farther down the page, they're close to the call to action button, they're close to the conversion action. Putting testimonials and icons that generate trust and reduce anxiety is definitely a plus. My one comment around the testimonial is that my presumed persona for this page is that the target is an HR professional. If you do read the testimonial, you'll discover that it's actually not a testimonial from an HR professional, and it is instead a testimonial from a shipping manager at a plastic molding manufacturer. You're going to get better value by using a testimonial from an HR professional, someone that the target persona can sympathize with and understands their particular needs. I don't know what these icons are, but they do generate a sense of approval and validation of value for Paycom services. So kudos to adding those in there. That's the end of my quick and dirty landing page review. If you are interested in a deeper dive, we do much more extensive reviews covering motivation, offer, value proposition, incentives, and the physical and emotional experience of the landing page. If you'd like to learn more, Check us out in the link in the details, and we look forward to speaking to you. Thank you.